So today, we are exploring a really fascinating, timely tool called aGiTrack. That's pronounced aGiTrack. And it's specifically designed to bridge this massive gap we're seeing between AI-generated code and our standard Git version control. Let's dive right in.
So why do we even need this? Well, to understand that, we have to look at the core problem with AI agents right now. When an AI writes code for you, it usually just generates a bunch of untracked changes. Fast forward a week, and you or your team are left staring at all this new code, but you have absolutely zero provenance. You don't have the prompting history, you don't know the context the model used, and you have no idea how much those specific changes actually cost in tokens. It essentially turns your code into a complete black box during review. The big question is, how do we actually put our AI agents on the record?
Well, the creators of aGiTrack solved this in a really smart way by just wrapping around the agents you're already using. The setup is highly practical. It starts with a super basic pip installation. You literally just run pip install aGiTrack. Then you navigate to your repository and type aGiTrack. That's it. It brings this powerful command line interface directly into your workflow without forcing you to learn some clunky new graphical interface.
And what's really seamless about this is how it looks and feels. You're working right there in the native terminal environment you're already perfectly used to. The only real difference is that aGiTrack reserves this sleek little status line at the bottom. It just sits quietly underneath, keeping track of your active session, your branch, and your backend, watching every single change without ever getting in your way.
Now, when you actually need to interact with the tracking system, you don't have to break your flow or Alt-Tab to another window. You just hit Control-G. That immediately pops up a contextual command menu right over your agent. From this super unobtrusive menu, you can toggle your summarizer, switch your backends, or handle any Git actions right there on the spot.
And right from that exact same menu, you also unlock totally seamless session management. You can manage your active workspaces, spin up new sessions, switch between the ones you're tracking, or even resume a shared conversation right at the command line. Because it ties everything to your repository, you can literally share a full agent conversation with your collaborators over your Git remote. A teammate can pull it and pick up the exact same thread right where you left off.
Okay, so you're working away and your agent finishes writing a function. What happens next? This is where the accountability actually kicks in. Every single turn the agent completes is automatically generated into a formal Git commit in your history. You never have to guess what the AI did because every automated commit uses this distinct angle-bracketed aGiTrack prefix. You instantly see it in your Git log. No manual staging, no manual committing of raw output. It just handles it.
Now, if you want to step back and view your project-wide metrics, aGiTrack spins up a live local web dashboard. And I absolutely love this detail. It runs entirely locally. No data is ever phoning home to some external server. You get this incredibly clean view mapping out your activity over time. It visually graphs your commits, your AI-generated lines, and your output tokens day by day. You can easily drag and pan across your timeline to see exactly when your agents were doing the heavy lifting.
Moving deeper into the dashboard, you get this fantastic macro-level breakdown. On one side, it explicitly compares the lines tracked as AI-generated against your regular, non-tracked lines. It never falsely takes credit for human work. And alongside that, you get your exact token metrics: input, output, cache reads, cache writes. On the other side, it completely breaks down that usage by the back end, like Claude or OpenCode, and down to the specific model, like Claude-Opus-4-8. It is literally a perfect accounting of your entire token budget.
And this doesn't just stop at the project level. It extends straight to the team level. By tying into the GitHub CLI, committer identities are cleanly resolved. So it is immediately clear exactly who on your team drove which AI-generated code changes. You can see how each individual's workflow is split between AI-driven lines and non-tracked lines.
But let's jump back into the code base itself. When you inspect an aGiTrack commit, either on GitHub or in your terminal, it reveals the entire interaction trace. This is a total game changer. It permanently attaches exactly what you prompted the AI to do and the exact response the agent gave, right to the code diff. So, 6 months from now, if you're wondering why a function was written a certain way, the entire conversation is permanently preserved right there in the commit body.
And right below that conversation trace, there's a comprehensive, machine-readable metadata block. This logs the absolute precise context of that specific run. Think of it as a highly detailed, permanent receipt for every single code change the AI ever makes. If we look closely at the fields in that plain text metadata, it captures everything row by row. It logs the commit_type as agent. It explicitly lists the backend, which here is Claude, and the exact model used, like Claude-Opus-4-8. It captures the session underscore name, the exact timestamp the agent started, the number of context underscore tokens used, and even the summary underscore model it used to write the commit message itself. It meticulously records exactly how the change happened.
Now, for the advanced users out there, you might be thinking, wait, if this agent is constantly firing off commits in the background, won't that completely wreck my local repository state? Thankfully, no. Under the hood, this is made safe through the brilliant use of Git work trees. If you haven't used them, a work tree is basically an isolated, concurrent Git directory environment. By putting each session in its own work tree, aGiTrack guarantees that running sessions won't collide with each other or with the code you're actively typing in your editor. The logic here is incredibly smart. All the agent's work is systematically committed on detached per-turn session branches. It's basically working on its own little island. Those changes are only integrated back into your base branch once the AI's run cleanly completes. And if there happens to be a conflict, the agent has to resolve it before it's ever allowed to touch your main work. You can literally have multiple agents running side by side on totally different tasks with zero fear of messing up your repo.
So to wrap this up, our development workflows are evolving at lightning speed, but our need for strict, auditable version control, that hasn't changed one bit. If you're a technical lead and you need a rigorous record of your team's AI coding activity, you should absolutely check out the full system architecture at aGiTrack.CORE-AIx.org. So I'll leave you with this provocative thought. As AI agents write a larger and larger percentage of your core product, can your team really afford to keep operating without the receipts? Thanks for joining me on this explainer,